Today's reading is Shadow the Hedgehog from the Sexypedia Wiki. Spoilers ahead! This article contains major spoilers about the sexy person and/or their source material. Please proceed with caution. Shadow the Hedgehog is an antagonist turned protagonist slash anti-hero from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Shadow is one of the most recognizable characters in gaming history, being the second most popular Sonic the Hedgehog character behind the Blue Blur himself, and making a reputation for himself throughout the years, even getting his own Wikipedia page and game. Either being for those who generally like his character, to those who just like him for his edginess and the memes surrounding it, or for any other reason, Shadow's presence is hard to avoid. This of course also includes the many, and we mean many people who crush on him ever since his debut, being the most thirsted after character within the Sonic cast, and causing many furry/emo awakenings in the process. And with Sonic the Hedgehog 3 coming out in a few months as of the creation of this article, it's perfect timing for our ultimate life form to get the spotlight once more. His class is Tiamat. His aliases include the Ultimate Lifeform, the Black Blur, Android, Faker, Fake Hedgehog, Shad by Sonic, Black Hedgehog by Amy Rose and GUN Soldier, the Dark Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog, Mistaken Identity, Terios the Hedgehog, Prototype Name, the Imposter, the Evil One by GUN's Commander, Protector of the Ark, Living Proof of the Ultimate Lifeform, Most Powerful Hedgehog on the World, the Ultimate Hedgehog, Shadow Android, the Ultimate Battle Form, the True Ultimate Life Form, all self-proclaimed, and a bitch-ass motherfucker by Fandub Robotnik. And his source is Sonic the Hedgehog. Basic information. Shadow the Hedgehog is a major supporting character from Sonic the Hedgehog who made his debut from Sonic Adventure 2. He was created by Professor Gerald Robotnik, the grandfather of Dr. Eggman. After witnessing the death of his best friend Maria Robotnik, Shadow initially seeks revenge, but later vows to keep his promise to her that he would protect the world from danger. While he has good intentions, he will do whatever it takes to accomplish his goals, putting him at odds with Sonic. More information about him can be found on the Sonic the Hedgehog wiki. Age discussion. The topic of Sonic characters and their ages has always been a sour topic, with Shadow being the weirdest case since he's chronologically in his 50s yet seems to be physically around the same age as Sonic. As of right now, the characters' ages were officially removed from Sonic's channel, which was likely done to stop age debates altogether and to allow the fans to interpret them however they want. Fans generally agree that the characters like Sonic, Knuckles, and Rouge are now young adults, with Rouge even affirming herself as such in the IDW comics, which are canon to the games. Given characters like Sonic having birthdays and Infinite stating in Sonic Forces that Eggman has been fighting Sonic for decades, it's clear the characters do age, and there are clear intervals of time between the games, especially with Sonic being notably more mature in Frontiers than he's ever been in previous games. So at the very least, Shadow himself is a young adult physically if he's around Sonic's age. Archetypes. Anthro/demonic/non-human. While clearly and literally being an anthropomorphic hedgehog with drip, he was created with black arms genetics, making him a hedgehog/demon alien hybrid. Angst. By far the most angsty character in the Sonic franchise, as well as being one of his most known traits. He was created as the ultimate life form by Professor Gerald Robotnik, but his life quickly turned tragic with the loss of Maria, the granddaughter of Gerald and his closest friend, who represented the epitome of innocence and hope in his life, after the military's attempts to capture him and the belief that he was a threat to humanity caused her death. It would be what defines him from there on out, motivating his actions in his relentless quest for his purpose in life as well as his identity. Chronokinetic. Though he was only able to do it through the use of the Chaos Emerald, him using Chaos Control, which allows him to freeze time, is easily his most iconic attack. Criminal. In Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow steals the Chaos Emerald from a high-security facility, frames Sonic for his actions which lands him in Prison Island, and orchestrates catastrophic events aimed at destroying Earth. Controversial. The most controversial Sonic character, in fact, was his introduction alone with splintering people on whether the more serious storytelling Sonic games began to tell fit the series or not. And that's not even getting into Shadow's character itself. While it was heavily well received in both Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Heroes, his game would be what would permanently split the fanbase, which would make him more edgy than before and use guns, have his backstory be complicated by the introduction of Black Doom and the Black Arms, and the overall game and story being poorly received by fans and critics alike. This would be why people see Shadow as the edgiest character ever and either dislike him for it or enjoy him for that exact reason. Though Sonic fans generally don't like the transition of him just being the edgy, hot-headed rival to Sonic, in contrast to him just being a morally gray anti-hero who just wanted to fulfill Maria's promise. Deadpan Snarker. Shadow usually delivers lines with a serious, almost emotionless tone, which juxtaposes the content of what he's saying. Distinctive voice. Regardless of who his voice actor is, Shadow has a deep, smooth, cold tone of voice, though with each new voice actor he gets, the deeper and rougher his voice gets. Also, he's voiced by Keanu freaking Reeves in the movie. Dominating. He is confident, often to the point of arrogance, and asserts his power without hesitation. He frequently asserts his authority over others, including allies and enemies alike, making it clear that he sees himself as the ultimate life form, which he refers himself to a lot. When threatening someone, he won't hesitate to carry out the threat. Duality. On one hand, he is driven by the memory of Maria and her wish for him to protect humanity. On the other hand, he grapples with his darker instincts and the destructive potential of his powers, which serves as the main premise of his game, where he can choose multiple endings on either being good, neutral, or outright evil. Egotistical. He really likes to remind everyone he's the ultimate life form, as well as just thinking he's cool and expects himself to do things perfectly. Fan and splintering. Shadow has many different portrayals throughout media, such as the Archie comics and soon Sonic 3, as well as having many different versions of him made by the fandom that would take too long to list down. Flanderization. Ever since his own game, Shadow would be portrayed as a far more edgy, angry, rebellious character similar to Vegeta, which many fans disliked due to stripping away the nuance his character had from Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Heroes. Thankfully, if Sonic Prime is any indication, it seems his character is returning back to form, which would be ironic because he serves as a contrast to Sonic, who many felt was flanderized himself in the aforementioned show. Glove Guy. Majority of the Sonic cast wears gloves, with Shadow not being an exception. Hot-headed. While normally stoic, he can be quick to anger, especially when provoked. This trait would become exaggerated over time as his confrontations with Sonic have him act more aggressive than how he used to be. Intelligence. He possesses an IQ of 200, as tested by GUN, and showcases this through his ability to skillfully operate complex vehicles like military jeeps, hovercrafts, and jet-powered gliders, all while engaging in combat and evading obstacles, as well as expertly wield a variety of firearms, both military-grade and alien, and has defeated top-tier mercenaries single-handedly. Shadow's training results were so impressive that they reached the highest ranks of GUN, earning admiration from their top agent, Rouge. Knife murder. Shadow is willing to hurt or even kill those who stand in his way, the most notable example being when he killed all of the Jackal squad except for Infinite. In his game, there are some endings where he brutally kills Eggman as well. Morally great / redeemed villain. He was initially introduced as a villain who wanted to destroy the Earth to avenge Maria, but upon remembering that she wished for hope for humanity, he would redeem himself and go on to protect humanity for her sake. Despite fighting for the side of good, however, Shadow can still be brooding, distant, and a jerk to others, as well as in his own game, pondering over his own morality throughout many possible routes, with some of them ending in him becoming evil, although this was stemmed from him having amnesia and forgetting his past. However, the true ending has him defeat Black Doom, save the world, and not have his past weigh him down anymore. Mysterious. His initial appearance and motives in Sonic Adventure 2 were shrouded in mystery, and even as more about his past is revealed, he still carries this air about himself due to his distant nature. One-winged angel. Can use all 7 Chaos Emeralds to turn into Super Shadow. Parental issues. Dr. Gerald Robotnik, who created Shadow, served as a father figure to him and designed him with a specific purpose: to cure Gerald's granddaughter, Maria, of her terminal illness and to bring about peace. However, after Maria's tragic death at the hands of GUN soldiers, Gerald became consumed by grief and revenge and had programmed Shadow to carry out a cataclysmic revenge plot against humanity. And then there's Black Doom, who was revealed as Shadow's DNA was partially derived from, making him his biological father of sorts and sought to use Shadow as a tool to dominate Earth. Perpetual Frowner. Frequently depicted with a serious, often stern or frowning expression, it's very rare to see him smiling at all. Power. Shadow is one of the most powerful characters in the Sonic universe, and this is central to his identity given he was deemed the ultimate life form. Besides having some of the same abilities as Sonic, he says he can use certain abilities from nearby Chaos Emeralds, and says he's the only one who knows how to use the Chaos Emerald's true powers. Also, guns. Power of love. His loyalty to Maria's memory of protecting humanity is the reason he became a hero. In Sonic Adventure 2, he secretly planned to destroy humanity to avenge Maria. Once he recovered his memories and found out the truth, he saves humanity. Quotable catchphrases. Arguably the second most quoted character behind Sonic himself, with gems such as, "I'm the ultimate life form," "Chaos Control," "Faker, I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Ha! Not even good enough to be my fake. Maria, this is what you wanted, right? This is my promise I made to you." Disgusting black creatures, get out of my sight. Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald? This is like taking candy from a baby. Which is fine by me. If the world chooses to become my enemy, I will fight like I always have. Cowards run. I win. You're a colorful bunch. And in various fan dubs. What are your pronouns? It's pronounced Jif. Jif like the peanut butter, the creator said so. New idea. Adultery. Wait, I traumatized you as a child? That's badass! You under arrest, Eggman. Eggface. Egg poopy butt. Rival. His rivalry with Sonic is one of the most famous ones in all of pop culture. Secret Agent. Works as an agent for GUN. Short. Much like all of the answer characters in the franchise, he's short compared to the human characters like Dr. Eggman. Technically antagonist. Stopped being a full-blown villain after Sonic Adventure 2, but often still labeled as a bad guy. His team in Heroes is named Team Dark for God's sake. Theme song. Throw it all away from Sonic Adventure 2, I Am, All of Me from his own game, and All Hail Shadow from Sonic 06. Villain protagonist. Can embrace becoming one in more than a few endings of his own game. Either it be him wanting to destroy the planet, conquer the universe, or just continuing to serve Black Doom. Fanon tropes. Alternative fashion/white twink humanization. A lot of fan art depicts him as, you guessed it, a skinny pale twink who also wears punk-style clothing to reference his edginess. Eye imagery/glowing neon. In fan art, he will sometimes be shown as having glowing red eyes. John Locked. Sonato, the ship of him and Sonic, is one of the most popular ships in the fandom, as well as the most popular male/male ship overall, due to their mutual understanding and underlying respect for the other despite their rivalry. Shadow's other prominent ships include Rouge, Amy, Silver, Metal Sonic, Infinite, and Mephiles. He's also notoriously shipped with Shrek, with it being one of the most prolific crack ships of all time. Marked canon/fan divergence. In official media, Shadow is presented as a serious, brooding, and complex character, grappling with heavy themes and moral ambiguities. In contrast, fan interpretations sometimes soften his edges, exploring aspects like humor, vulnerability, and domesticity that are less prominent in canon. Fans also exaggerate certain traits such as edginess or stoicism, though this is usually done in memes.